Hello, my name is Constantin Kogan, and I'm your host of Holistic Investments. And it's my pleasure to have today Ori Levi, who is a CEO and founder of NFTrade. Hi, Ori.
Hi, Constantin. How are you?
Amazing. It's great to have you here. And we're going to talk about this NFT journey of yours and how your product is revolutionizing the space. Before that, traditionally, I have to throw a legal disclaimer. So this content is for informational purposes only. You should not construe any such information as material, legal, tax, or any other investment advice. So now we can talk about a lot of things, and hopefully in the realm of the NFT space, how for now, like, we're in a little bit of a bearish trend, so that's tough on every single project in the space, right? There's still a lot of entrepreneurs like yourself, like, you help the industry, and your product in some instances is unique in many ways. So traditionally, let's start from you. How did you get to crypto? Let's talk about a little bit about your team and your experience, and then we'll jump to the product.
Cool. So yeah, I've started my crypto journey quite early. Found it on some internet marketing forum, and kind of digged in from there. I discovered about Bitcoin in 2012. So almost like, yeah, it was 9 years ago. Was very early. I personally didn't have much money to invest, so don't worry, I'm not a Bitcoin, but I have opened a Bitcoin gateway website where I basically helped people find their way into the Bitcoin world. We also had one of the most sophisticated Bitcoin mining calculators back when mining was a thing you do from home. We had like a predefined list of graphic cards that you could choose and basically have it calculated for you for the next 1 to 3 years, where we took difficulty increase into calculation, and that was apparently very, very high tech back then. And yeah, that's where I basically started, and I've been mostly doing PR in the space ever since, up until recently when I have decided to start NFTrade in September last year.
Got it. So you essentially, NFTrade is a cross-chain, platform. It's an NFT aggregator, right? So we've seen some similar aggregators in the space. And I'm not going to even put names to advertise them. But I wanted to talk a little bit. What's unique about your product? Like, what you bring to the table that no one else does?
Well, so actually, I wouldn't mind if you name any other NFT aggregators, because I only know of one, and they're called OpenSea, and they've been the first in the space.
Exactly, that's the first thing I thought about.
Other than them, I don't know of any. And even if we had not even one, advantage over them, luckily we do. I think they'd still deserve at least one competitor in this space, but that's obviously not the reason why we started. So actually, the way NFTrade started was because what NFTs reminded me first thing when I saw them was game items, which is of course it's a big use case on NFTs, but it's just one of the use cases. But when it resembled game items to me, the first thing that came to mind, because I play Counter-Strike, and you get these weapons and stuff, and you can trade them with other players. And when I wanted to do that with NFTs, or when I looked at how can you do that with NFTs, I found no platform to have that feature, which I found to be odd. I think that this is a common use case that's going to that we're going to see with NFTs, but not just for game items, but art and anything that comes to mind. And actually, we've just had, because we're rather new on the mainnet, we just had an interesting swap yesterday or today, I'm not sure, which was kind of unique. I can tell a bit more about it later. But yeah, swaps is what made us come up with the idea for NFTrade. And yeah, we started implementing this swaps, and soon enough we wanted to kind of we had to decide: are we going to be another NFT platform with swaps on it, or are we going to allow swaps to happen in all the marketplaces? And because we had to go with the second option because it makes much more sense, we basically became an NFT aggregator, because we had to get all the NFTs on our platform. And when you get all the NFTs, they're mostly on Ethereum. But as we started moving on, more and more chains started having NFTs. Almost every chain today, at least the reputable ones, have NFT projects on them.
And you're chain agnostic, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So we're on mainnet with 3 blockchains: Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Avalanche, which we're partnered with. And there are more coming.
Got it. So that's in your roadmap, and anyone who wants to know more, they can join, the roadmap, their website, NFTrade.com, right? Take a look. And also, I think you have a vibrant Telegram community, right? So where else can people know more about your developments?
I think our Medium is constantly updated with blog posts about our partnerships and our updates, and we recently had a new web design come up, and anything like that will probably go on our Medium. You can find a lot of information about the industry as well. So we're not just talking about ourselves. We're really, trying to keep up with anything that's happening in the NFT space. And there is a lot happening, but there is also a lot more coming. And this is what people might not really see. But if you looked at the amount of projects, and I'm not talking about these scammy kind of hyped or ride on the hype projects. I'm talking about real big companies that are building big stuff, that are coming and building on NFTs. Then people are going to understand that this market is still in its very, very early stage.
Yeah, it's a nascent stage, that's for sure. And you hear some of the news, Mark Cuban is getting into Top Shots, he just, I think he in April he invested in Crypto Slam, which is also an aggregator, but different from what you guys are doing.
It's a great website.
I think you guys can easily integrate with them and partner in the future, I'm sure, right?
For sure.
But at the end of the day, some of my friends who actually personally invest in the cards, they were criticizing the space because they said, listen, we bought whatever Kevin Durant card, for a fortune, and now it's decreasing 5 times in price. So why did I even buy this? So yeah, it will take time.
What do they tell you about Bitcoin when they bought at 60?
No, that's the thing, exactly. So I told them the same exact analogy. Listen, you cannot, if you believe in the space, that's a long-term hold, right? You do collections, you make sure that this is an investment in the future, because even if you buy a real baseball card, right, the idea is to hold it for let's say 10 to 20 years, right? If you want to really sell it with huge appreciation.
Exactly.
And that value that you provide, that besides doing it on one platform, which is I call it again in the IT world, a vendor lock problem, right? You're kind of married with one platform. Whatever. I love some even OpenSea, Rarible, some other Mintable, but I cannot swap between them, right? So you essentially will allow this to happen, right?
Yes, correct. We not only we allow swapping any NFT with any NFT, no matter where you bought it, we also will allow to swap between chains as well. And we will reserve the original value of the original NFT. I won't delve into the technology behind this too much, but basically a lot of people find it very hard to preserve it, and we were able to come to a formula that we're able to preserve the original value, because that's what really matters at the end of the day when swapping between chains. So yeah.
So let's jump straight like into the product, right? And people like saying, "Oh, you guys are talking about theory." Like, let's just see how it works, right? If you can show it once, I think it'll be much better, right?
Sure. So give me a sec. I'll share my screen. Cool. So we'll go ahead and launch the app. Yeah, unlike most, I don't want to brag, but unlike most projects pre-IDO, we actually are live on mainnet for a month and a half now, I think.
So the product is ready.
The product is working. It's never ready. I would never call it ready, but it's definitely working, and we're having real swaps on happening, and not only swaps but purchases. We've already had, I think, 500 items listed on our platform, which is not that much, but based on the amount of marketing that was done, I think it's pretty significant. So what we're seeing here is basically on the left side, I can see my the NFTs that are inside my wallet. And on the right side, I can see the NFTs that are everywhere in the wild. Right now, we haven't really imported all of the NFTs in the world, just for the sake of simplicity for our users. We chose the most common ones, if you may say, but eventually we will have everything. So as you can see the symbols on each and every NFT.
Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, right?
Correct. And you can choose if you want to filter it by a specific blockchain of your choice. And yeah, basically.
So how would that work? Let's say I want to. How do you match the pricing? Let's say one NFT costs like $100.
Yeah. So
Ethereum, right?
This is a good question. I think that if everything had a monetary value, then swaps would never be important. But imagine you have a CryptoPunk that you really don't want to sell. And I have this example specifically with Mibits. Okay, I don't know how aware of you of Mibits, but it's the second CryptoPunk project. I wasn't lucky enough to get a CryptoPunk, but I was lucky enough to get a Mibit. When I got the Mibit, I really wanted to have a Mibit that would look a bit more like me, not like this dude over here. Just, for the sake of, if this actually becomes like a metaverse kind of thing to have this creature, then it would be cool if it looked like me. So I looked and found one that does. And I offered them a trade. And by the way, I have to say that about Mibits, because they have integrated their own swapping system, trade Mibit for Mibit inside the Mibit platform. So good on that for them. So you are actually able to offer a Mibit for a Mibit. And this just shows the validity of the need for such things, by the way. So yeah. That's an example of when you want to make a trade, but you don't want to sell. Okay. And if I have a CryptoPunk and I can get 30 ETH for it, but what if I don't want 30 ETH? I just want this other CryptoPunk that is also not for sale. The only way to do it would be with a trade, and this is just a CryptoPunk for a CryptoPunk.
So in other words, were you saying that in this particular case study, the price does not matter, right? So we both decide. Imagine you have the Mibit or whatever, any other NFT. We decide that we want to trade, right? And that's transaction happens, and then we decide what's going to do next, right?
So yeah, what I think is that other that a lot of items that don't even have a value yet are going to be traded. For example, if I am an artist and I just minted 5 of my different artistic NFTs, and I know of other artists that are going to that have, we speak in forums, we do so many different. They live in these same communities, and they can now trade their art before anyone ever bought it. And they are doing that these days. They just do it without a platform to facilitate it.
Got it. Is there a chance you can show us maybe on a demo environment, like how you can trade the Ethereum NFT to, let's say, Avalanche or Binance Smart Chain?
So I can show you. I can show you up to the part that I actually have to hit the accept button, because I don't want to trade my items for now. But yeah, you can choose one NFT for 2 other NFTs. As soon as you choose one NFT from someone, it will automatically filter for that user only, because you're not going to offer one NFT to 2 different users. So yeah, so now I'm left with the other options that this user has. I can choose, for example, to offer them my 720 minutes NFT for these 2 NFTs.
Okay, that was my next question. Can I trade 1 for 2? So you answered it basically.
Yeah. That's correct. You can trade 1 for 3, and yeah, I can also show you the transaction we had yesterday, which was quite interesting trade. So as soon as I hit trade, the next thing will be approving via MetaMask, and once you approve, basically then the user on the other side will get, so I can confirm it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to reject. The user on the other end will get a notification that a trade has been offered, and then they can do one of the following. They can either approve it, they can decline it, or they can counter offer it.
Okay, so the downside here, like just to pause for a second, so that I, as a person who initiated the trade, right, I pay the gas fee, right? Imagine in Ethereum, so it's like whatever, $6 right now. So if it's declined, so basically I risk to lose, let's say, $6 in this particular instance, right?
Actually, the gas fee is per contract, meaning right after you do it the first time, then you'll be able to create offers for the same contract items again and again with just a signature. Mm-hmm. But yes, the first time you offer, and you will have to pay the gas fee. Obviously, there are new solutions, there are new blockchains, and this is why we're integrating them where this is not a big deal. But on Ethereum, it's currently is still a little bit of a big deal, especially when dealing with low value items.
Yeah. It's going to be cheaper in Avalanche and Binance Smart Chain.
It's almost non-existent, and we also have Polygon coming up in a few days, which is actually our next partnership. And I want to expand on that because Polygon has something very unique. It's a service that people are using. It's not only for Polygon, but it's mostly used with Polygon, where the company behind the product pays the fees for the users. Mm-hmm. So users don't necessarily even need to have a MetaMask wallet. And that creates a whole world of opportunities in the NFT space and in the Web3 space in general.
But how would they connect to even to something, you know?
So they can connect via username and password, which they're most used to. Then we can create a wallet for them on our website without even calling it a wallet. We can call it, let's call it a wallet, but it's still as simple as registering to anything. And they can interact with a very fast blockchain and not have to approve or to fund their MetaMask, we can pay their fees. So they can buy those NFTs via credit card, which is also one thing on our roadmap, for example.
Oh, you can integrate that credit card connection, right?
Yes.
And you're going to be able to after the listing, you can buy your tokens and use them to trade.
Our tokens, they're not
or any.
Our tokens are going to be used for governance and for getting some extra perks on our platform. But yeah, users will be able to do. And by the way, this is something that that is very important for us to complete and to achieve, is the mass adoption. We cannot show users, we cannot make users pay with the token that the other side has requested. Some people can ask for some weird Avalanche, no matter what, it can be anything. But the other user, the buyer, will be able to pay with any other currency that they choose. We will do the trade behind the scenes and pay the user whatever they wanted, and so both sides are
basically
happy.
Reimburse the fees. That's the value proposition, right?
Yeah,
that's impressive. So maybe can we go to farms? A little.
Yeah. So this is I guess that's all we have on the platform. It's basically just like any other NFT marketplace, but with all the NFT marketplaces in it. The farms are, we wanted to connect the DeFi world because eventually, essentially right now, most of the users that are dealing with NFTs are still, especially the ones that are not on Flow and Wax, are crypto people, and so we wanted to connect both worlds, and having these partnerships allow us to have more exposure to more people, and we've created a pretty cool farming for NFTs. So basically, a project that wants to partner with us, we create a farm for them. XCAD were the first ones to launch a farm, I think 3 or 4 days ago.
Maybe let's explain a little bit what is a farm in this particular context. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So farming for NFTs, what is that? So a lot of projects have some ideas for NFTs, or they have an upcoming game that will include NFTs, or they want to have some utility NFTs. Like I will show some examples in a second, but utility NFTs can be like an early access to a platform, or discounts on fees, or other similar perks that users can have just by owning this NFT on their wallets. So we are basically offering projects to give out these NFTs for farming, for basically staking of their native token. And then getting the ability to basically buy these tokens using the free tokens that they earned. So in this example,
where is they staking it? Let's define also.
Sorry?
Where are they staking it?
So they're staking it on our platform, the platform that we've created. It's going on a contract, on a contract that we own, and they stake XCAD tokens in this example. We currently have over 1.5 million tokens staked. That equals to almost $3 million in value that is staked on our platform. Once you stake XCAD, you start earning an XCAD. And using those, these tokens can only be used on this farm. They cannot be transferred and they cannot be sold. So these tokens, their only purpose is to purchase NFTs from this farm. And so, this has been actually a great success so far. where they've offered allocation NFTs, which is a cool idea that I think more and more projects, we're going to see more and more projects using soon. So basically, users are earning allocations to a project, to a sister project, or a project they're partnered with called Opulus. Their IDO is up and coming on DAO and it seems like their allocation is quite needed because a lot of people are buying them. Basically. Yeah, it's in high demand. So yeah, the 500 allocation NFTs are already gone, and there are they have a lot of celebrities. Academy is working with a lot of different celebrities, so they have put out some different special NFTs that are exclusive to our platform.
So just to maybe pause here with this 5,000 or whatever $1,000 allocation. So once you invest in this NFT, it's a quite a like savvy idea, right? So how can you claim it then? Like, how do you unpack the tokens? Because as I see you invest, let's say $5,000 worth of like, it's in whatever, let's say private round, and then you have 5 cents per token, 10% on the TG, then you have a vesting schedule, right? So how would that unpack?
So this is actually, I think that the way the XCAD team is handling this one is via it's manually contacting the team on Telegram to redeem it, and then they would somehow verify, I believe by looking at your wallet, they would verify that you're the actual owner of this NFT, and then give you access based on that.
Got it.
But to answer your questions in a more in more detail, there are actually projects that are working on NFTs that time lock tokens inside them and release them with a specific schedule.
That would be interesting. That would definitely be the next level of how you do that, because a lot of the platforms, they're already, like launchpads already have this logic entailed, like, any linear vesting schedule, and like you unpack it, whatever, 10% on TG, 15%, 25%, and then every month like a small portion, right? So that's fine. But NFTs is like additional synthetic like derivative that allows you to even wrap it into another layer, which is, to me, technically, I thought it's a little bit more complex, but I think it's fun, for a different audience, as you mentioned, like more like cyberpunks, like who are, who love this idea and concept. That may be interesting. Like,
this concept actually already is in the works. I'm not going to advertise the company that is doing this.
Okay, maybe in next video.
But it just comes to show that really NFTs are only just starting. I've actually seen the first real estate was put on an NFT.
That was a long time ago, actually. Like I saw some folks in 2018. I was part of the conference, and one of the people I know personally were trying to put like a castle in Long Island and
tokenizing it, but not into NFT. No, but they were
they abandoned the idea eventually. I will tell you openly, it didn't happen. But there was a plan to do it specifically in the NFT. Yes.
Okay.
And then so I know as well. Yeah, I know those guys.
I see. Okay, I know about a house by the TechCrunch founder. I just put that on. Yeah, and he put his apartment on an NFT. So
that was actually also, I even know the owner who sold him like this. I'm originally from Kiev, by the way, so I know the guy who sold him this apartment.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay. No, but please don't confuse. Okay, the apartment, which was first a property to be sold using blockchain technology back in 2017.
Yes.
But now they have tokenized it into an NFT. So it's a different story.
Yeah, okay. I understand. It's a similar concept, but they do it differently. But there were some examples of how real estate can be tokenized NFTs. I don't know, honestly, if they're succeeded, but I've heard this idea several times already. Like, I'm happy that people implement it, regardless of who's first.
Yeah, Kiev is an awesome place, by the way.
Yes, like a product placement. So coming back to your product. Okay, so I think we got any other like aspect that we want to show like on the people can use for now. I think that's it. So
I think in terms of usability, that's it. I mean, it's we try to keep things nice and simple.
Okay, that's that I love. So you're gonna have a lot of new partnerships, a lot of new integrations. So we can maybe briefly talk about like the team who's behind it, like like when is your ideal as expected, like and what do you believe that what's gonna happen with the NFT market?
Yeah, so I'm not a prophet, but in terms of like I said, I think I mentioned it earlier. I know of a lot of big companies building on NFTs, and I think that big things are coming to the NFT space. So people should not be. I mean, people can do whatever they want, but my advice to you: if something goes like this, and it goes like that, it's most probably going to go up a lot more in the next round. We've seen this with cryptocurrencies and almost anything that's good in life. I expect really big things happening in the NFT space. In terms of partnerships and all that, I don't want to bore people. You should just join our social media channels and follow. There's a lot coming, and we're like stay tuned on our Medium, on Twitter, and come and join our chat on Telegram. Apart from that, our token sale is scheduled for the 14th of July, Bastille Day.
That's a good date. So you have to capture the market. I see also like, by your background, so you have two interesting things behind you. So one is a bullish trend, so you have a skull, and another thing you have Jack Daniels. So that's in case if the bullish trend is not there, you have something to relieve the stress, right?
Exactly. My best friend here.
Okay, so that's amazing. So you have 14th of July. People will stay tuned, and I will share the links for them to basically follow the progress of your project. And I think what you guys are doing is very interesting. Again, I'm sure that people who are into NFT will definitely try out your product. Like I will also go.
Sure, they should, because we charge 0 fees at the moment for the first 6 months, which means you can trade, buy and sell without paying any fees on our platform.
To keep it, like also concise, maybe someone who is I've got a lot of requests for people who are creators of NFTs, right? So they're still new to the space. They don't understand crypto that much. They just discovered it somewhere on Clubhouse or anywhere, like from their friends. So what would be your exciting message to them? How they can practically interact with your platform?
Well, right now, I would only say that I would, and hear me out here, I wouldn't recommend them. First of all, keep your dreams realistic. I know you've heard about people who sold an art for $69 million. Doesn't mean you're going to do the same. A lot of people came in the NFT space and started pricing their unknown art for a lot of money, and then they were surprised that it's not selling, and they were all frustrated because they couldn't make millions like people. People has put out quite a lot of work on this one, on his work, but you can easily go on our platform and mint your own NFT. But I would also suggest you to wait. First of all, wait until we build our next tool, which is also unique. I haven't spoken about it, but I'll give you a little brief about it. Basically, we're doing like a store builder, like you build your own page, just like you would do with a website builder. So you can design it your own way and have your own product, your own artist page on our platform that is unique to you, and it doesn't look like any other artist page like you see on other marketplaces. So you would be able to customize not only the background, but place the text and actually build it like the website you'd want it to look like, using a website builder. We've partnered with someone on that, and it's coming along soon. And yeah, so maybe wait for a more of a bull market, because both the crypto market and the NFT market is quite slowed down. Also, give us some time to build that. But definitely high hopes for creators, especially digital creators that until now were not able to monetize their art, and now they finally can.
Yeah, and kudos to you that you actually allow them to do that. Like, you know, to even in a more like I would say user-friendly way to swap between. I hope you actually integrate more chains. You know, like I hope you actually allow people to do that. Like, you know, easily, seamlessly. Like, you know, I think it's really important. So. So last thing I'm going to ask you. So I know you live in Israel, right? You know, which is also like a spiritual mecca, you know, being like a holy place for a lot of people in the world. So I have to add my podcast on YouTube is like holistic investment. So I have to ask you this question. Why do you even do that? Why do you do what you do? And what is the purpose in life for you?
Good question. I have seen the necessity in creating, first of all, something that doesn't exist, which is like the swaps. And second of all, I could finally connect between money, crypto, and stuff that I love dealing with, which is art, music, people, and you know, not keep to just the money part of crypto, which was what most of us did before NFTs came in. So I think that this is kind of the reason. I find NFTs to be fascinating towards a more decentralization of this beautiful planet. I hope that more and more things will be decentralized, and yeah, I hope for equality and around the globe.
Happy to hear that. Honestly, I think it's a good, you know, mission, and I know you have a great team. You know, I think I've connected also with Shahab before, like, so, and I know you have a professional team who's behind it. So
amazing team behind it. They're right here.
There are, you know, I know that there are people who already built products. I know you have experience in entrepreneurship, so you already have, like, you know, the first version. I wish you develop it even more, and you become the #1 aggregator in the world, you know, for the NFTs. So thank you for your time, Ori. I think it was really insightful. For anyone who is listening on the podcast, I'll put a link to YouTube. Please take a look on the part. We'll put a timestamps where Ori actually shows the platform, so it'll be easier for you to navigate and try it out yourself. Right, so you've heard it. There's already like NFTs there. You can try it out yourself without even having like the token. And the big date is the 14th of July. So stay tuned, and we'll share all the links to NFTrade's social media.
Thanks a lot. I really enjoyed this. Thank you, Constantin.
Likewise. Thank you. All right.